Hello there! Welcome back to Star Wars in the Galaxy, and guess what? Jacob's back. We have two hosts again. We were just discussing how awesome that is.
It's great to be back. Good to be back.
It's good to have you back. And we are today, this is episode 28 of Star Wars in the Galaxy, watching all the Star Wars we can get our hands on. And this week we are going to be discussing the back half of the Star Wars The Clone Wars movie, starting from, I believe, 50 minutes to the end. But before we do that, you might know that a certain piece of Star Wars media came out this week. We're talking about the season premiere of Season 2 of The Mandalorian. We understand that it hasn't been that long since the release, so we will include a timestamp in the description of this episode, pointing you, if you don't want to hear spoilers, pointing you to a timestamp you can skip to. So yeah, we're gonna start talking about The Mandalorian Season 2 now. So here's how I'd like to do this for every episode. See, Jacob, tell me if you like this, tell me if you want to change anything about this. But I had an idea. We'll start out by saying, I thought this episode of The Mandalorian was blank, I have spoken, and then give our thoughts on it to include that quote from the show. Okay, here we go. So, I'll go first. I thought this episode, The Marshal of The Mandalorian, was crazy. I have spoken.
I thought this episode was a mixed bag. I have spoken.
Interesting. Okay, so let's get into this. I don't want to talk too long about it, but let's get into it. So let me tell you first. I will say I had a dream the night before about what The Mandalorian episode 9 would be.
Wow.
And somehow the episode we got was crazier than the one in my dream.
Yeah, I was really not expecting.
This is crazy. So they introduced a character.
Are we spoiler safe right now, or
Yes, spoiler safe. They introduced a character from the Aftermath book called Cobb Vanth, played by Timothy Oliphant, which is crazy because they just introduced a book character into The Mandalorian. It's nuts.
Yeah, I didn't know who that was. I'm gonna have to read the Aftermath trilogy now, but I think that's gonna be pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's.
So can you tell us a little bit about Cobb Vanth? Because
I haven't read the Aftermath trilogy. I did research when it was rumored that Cobb was going to be in Mando S2. But basically, he was a former slave who got his freedom, and then we see his backstory in the episode. He was just a normal citizen of Mos Pelgo, and then after the second Death Star was destroyed, the mining collective took over, and he escaped, and he found Boba Fett's armor on the Jawa Sandcrawler. And then he used that armor to defend the town from the mining collective, becoming the sheriff, basically.
Fantastic. And so Cobb Vanth is the sheriff?
Yeah.
Or the marshal? All right. And how does he show up in the Aftermath trilogy?
He has like a chapter or two in it. It's like an interlude.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The book is him finding the armor, and then they retconned it a little bit, I think. But yeah,
that's pretty cool. We get to we kind of see the story group working on tying in the book, some of these newer books a little more.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Anyway, so Mando and Vanth team up because he's looking for other Mandalorians. And they team up to take down a crate dragon. They 7 samurai the crate dragon.
I can't believe I was so surprised. The crate dragon was the thing that I was the most surprised and had the most thoughts about.
By the way, did you realize that the entire crate dragon takedown scene was very similar to the crate dragon takedown scene in KOTOR?
Yes, I guess. But
someone pointed that out to me on Twitter, and I thought it was interesting. That they took it out with explosive traps just like they did in KOTOR. It was in a cave just like it was in KOTOR. I don't know, it's just fun stuff. And then at the end is the craziest part, where we see a very much alive Boba Fett, and he saw Vanth giving the armor over to Din, so he's going after him. I don't expect to see that anytime soon, but Boba Fett's going after the Mandalorian. That's what's happening.
That's gonna be pretty insane.
That's gonna be crazy.
I missed it, and it didn't register that was Boba Fett. So
I think a lot of people didn't register it was Boba Fett.
Was that Temuera Morrison?
That was Temuera Morrison.
Wow. Okay. I really was. I see, like when they panned to that person, I was like, oh, I bet it's gonna be Temuera Morrison. I didn't even recognize him. Wow. Okay.
I think they probably put some makeup on him because he didn't have the hair, and I think he was probably bruised badly by the Sarlacc, which, by the way, I don't know if you noticed, was eaten by the Krayt Dragon.
Yes.
Which is also crazy. Yeah. So, by the way, this is going to tie into the episode a little bit because given that Boba Fett has now technically interacted with all of the with the Mandalorian and Vanth and Baby Yoda, we can now 6 degrees the Mandalorian characters.
Yes.
So I'm going to be using that later in the episode.
Okay.
That's I remember I'm texting Jacob. I'm like, oh my god, we can 6 degrees them. The only reason I was so excited about that is because today's a 6 degrees episode, and I can do that.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. Oh well, next time.
Anyway,
whenever we do this again.
What?
Yeah. Whenever we do
Yeah, I was just thinking of doing this every week for every episode that comes out with our with our guest. Anyway, so let's get to the actual thing. We're back now. We're back. Non-spoiler talk about the Mandalorian. And let's talk about this the good old Star Wars: The Clone Wars movie. So, we're back, and
where did we leave off?
We left off with the mind trick thing.
Yeah, and then so Ventress tries and fails to convince Anakin to expose himself. Wait, that sounds wrong.
To trick Anakin into exposing himself.
To trick Anakin, yes.
Yeah.
Nope, not exposing himself. No, to
I think you should use a different word.
Giving away his location is what I meant to say, or yeah, giving away his location, and then we see Obi-Wan show up with the Star Cruiser. Man,
yeah.
That dorsal shot gets me every time. Wow. With the hangar opening up, I just love that they have like it kind of looks like a modern aircraft carrier a little bit in the Venator. I think that's super cool.
Yeah. One of the things I noticed, they throw in this weird twist at this point that Rotta somehow just got sick. Did that seem like really like that didn't need to happen to you?
I mean, I think it kind of did because it gave a little more urgency to it because he was sick. Like, I mean, it makes sense that he would be sick, like, because he was being he was just kind of, it was really, look, he's really stressful. He's away from his family when he's supposed to still be even inside the brood pouch.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like an extra part of the story that didn't really need to be there. It felt like it was urgent enough just like, okay, we got to get him back to Jabba before the Separatists do and try not for him to die. Now he's sick too. It seemed like a little much to me, but that's just me.
Maybe, I don't know. For me personally, I thought it made it didn't like I wouldn't say it made. I mean, it made sense. Like it was like, oh, okay. Like I didn't have an issue with it, I guess.
Yeah. Also,
like you did, but like Ventress, really, the part when they said like he's dying, like a dying baby. This is supposed to be a kids show. This was supposed to be a kids show. This is kids crazy.
Movie, but like
movie. Okay,
I understand your point.
There
are so many times in the show where it's not going to be a kids show.
Yeah, that's true.
Savage Opress freaking decapitates someone in the 5th season. That happens. Anyway, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah. So Anakin and Ahsoka managed to lock the door on Ventress. I'm like, guys, what are you doing? It's Ventress. You not know she has lightsabers in the Force.
Yeah.
Why are you locking the door on her?
I mean, it does give them. Look, it buys them time.
Actually, it does buy them time, and that's another one of my complaints. I know I'm complaining a lot about this, but like, they give the heroes way too much time. Asai should be out that door and ready to kill them like 5 seconds after that happens. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? They constantly cut back to her, cutting through the door, but like but she should have cut through that door twice as fast as she actually cut through the door. It's a
I mean, I
story
guess like
convenient thing.
we've seen it take a long time to cut through doors. Like we see that look at this. This isn't gonna be the last time. Funnily enough, I'm gonna mention the Zygeria arc most likely during this conversation. But in the Zygeria arc, it takes Anakin a really long time to carve through the door on the slave platform. So I don't think it's without precedent. Or I guess this comes before, but I don't think it's completely out of line that it takes her a long time to do it.
Anyway, also, there's a very funny thing that, first of all, let's credit this. James Arnold Taylor as Obi-Wan has some awesome moments in this. One of my favorites is, and if there's a battle, Anakin's somewhere in the middle of it.
That's a funny quote, yeah. Perfect line. There's so many things where I just thought, wow, that is the perfect description of how this character is, I guess.
Yeah.
That's this character in a nutshell.
We got a good ship origin story with the Twilight. Funny enough, did you know what kind of ship the Twilight's classified as?
I would assume it's a freighter, but I'm guessing you're going to say something else.
A spice freighter.
A spice freighter. Is it specifically built then for hauling illegal goods, I guess?
I don't know, but
what's
here's
the
why this is
what's
important.
the distinction there? Why?
Uncle Owen told me my father was a navigator on a spice freighter.
Oh, what? Wow.
Yeah.
Good pickup. Okay.
I think I read that somewhere, but like, yeah.
How would Uncle Owen have known? Because the last time that we
I don't think it was supposed to be like. I think Uncle Owen was actually making that up. I think they just put it in there. Maybe funny.
You're right. Yeah, maybe it's more likely just a reference because the last time Owen saw Anakin would have been in the Clone Wars. No.
In 2, Attack of the Clones. So
yeah, in Attack of the
he
Clones.
wouldn't have known. I think it's more likely just a fun reference that they thought they should throw in.
Yeah, that's more likely.
Let's see.
What do we have next?
Oh, I looked up some information on the Twilight. The Twilight is a Corellian G9 Rigger class light freighter owned and operated by Anakin during the Clone Wars. They used the ship to escape from a battle on Teth, as we see here. I forgot about this detail. When Obi-Wan Kenobi traveled to the planet Mandalore during the Mandalorian Civil War that takes place during the Clone Wars, the ship was destroyed by the Shadow Collective.
I thought it was destroyed by the Shadow Collective. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I forgot it was destroyed.
I think it's fitting given what just came out yesterday or the day before. I think it's fitting that we're talking about Mandalorians. Ship that gets destroyed by Mandalorians. It's kind of a Star Wars tradition almost.
Yeah.
To have the lieutenant messing up and villains executing and dispatching their own people for incompetence or just because.
Yes, I love that.
But we see Ventress shoving battle droids off a cliff. We see Grievous punching battle droids and shooting them, taking their own guns from them and shooting them on multiple occasions. We see Vader, of course. That's probably the most famous example, and we see Moff Gideon do it. In another
we don't see Moff
Gideon
do it. We hear about him doing it.
Well, we also see him spray. We see him spray lasers into the cafe or the cantina where he knows.
Oh, he kills the client, but there's also that throwaway line
and his stormtroopers are.
Yeah, there's also that throwaway line in the final episode. He just killed one of his own stormtroopers for interrupting him.
Oh yeah. You're right. That's true. So I think Moff Gideon's definitely a strong example of that then.
Yeah, we're going to see that coming up, hopefully.
I think they try to do it to show the ruthlessness of the leaders, and it works when their underlings are. This is macabre, but the effect works when the underlings are living, sentient. I don't think it works so much when they're droids.
And it also works, by the way, when they're large in number, which they always are. It's like they're expendable. It actually especially doesn't work with droids for that reason, because droids are expensive.
Well, according to Dooku, they're expensive, but if they're as expensive as he claims, he should get a refund. He should definitely get a refund on those droids.
Anyway, by the way, let me just say a couple things. First of all, I can't believe this is a Schmodown movie. Like, contestants often have to study this movie for the movie trivia Schmodown. Man,
and it's Star Wars. Star Wars is Star Wars.
I know, but like, holy cow. That's why they ask all the easy questions. They're all of the movie trivia Schmodown, the Clone Wars questions are: who was Obi-Wan Kenobi voiced by? Who was Ahsoka Tano voiced by? What's Anakin's nickname for Ahsoka Tano? There's one exception to that, which we'll cover later, actually. But I just thought that's interesting.
Oh, it's because people don't want to study it too deeply because they don't enjoy it.
I don't know why it is, but I think it's because that people often forget about it being a movie, so they can't rely.
That's true.
On them.
You forgot about it during our leftovers, our trivia leftovers competition. So I don't blame you.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think
anyone.
that's why they don't ask as difficult questions on it. Is because it's because people often forget about that being a movie, so they can't rely on people studying it as intensely as they do the spin-offs or the saga movies. Anyway, also, there's a rip from Return of the Jedi, which I thought was fun.
Really?
Ventress tells Dooku, "I shall double my efforts," and Dooku says, "I hope so, for your sake." And
I knew that sounded familiar.
That's ripped from beginning of Return of the Jedi. We shall double our efforts.
I hope so, Commander, for your sake. The Emperor is not as forgiving as I am.
There's a really great video. We'll
Wow,
link this in the description also to there's like a 35-minute long video of all the references and callbacks and the poetry it rhymes in the Clone Wars movie and TV show made by the channel CT5555. It's like 35 minutes long. It's incredible. You should check it out. And we'll leave that.
Most illuminating?
It's that's how I remember that because I watched that video a couple times. Anyway, let's see. Oh yeah. So Anakin and Ahsoka, because Rotta's sick, are forced to make the choice to leave Rex.
Yes. Anakin shows a rare moment of restraint here because we see in the really shortly before this in what's it called? I can't remember what it's called, but the episode where
Cat and Mouse?
They go Trench, yeah, Cat and Mouse. Season 3, but happens before this. Cat and Mouse, we see him do the exact opposite. He folds on the humanitarian mission because he wants to help fight the enemy.
Yeah, that's my thing.
So it's interesting to see him do the opposite and show some self-control here.
Yeah,
so,
that's the thing about this.
Good on you, Anakin.
It's weird because it's like Anakin's like technically the right thing to do in that situation is actually to rescue Rex because like, you know, it's some gangster's son versus the guy who's been a brother to him through this entire war. I mean, I understand the larger Republic versus Separatists implications on this, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like kind of, yeah. We're getting on to the. Any notes about Teth before? Anything you want to talk about on Teth before we get off of Teth?
Anything I want to talk about on Teth? Let's see. Yeah, Rex puts up a good fight.
He does.
I think the fight scene with the Vulture droids is pretty cool. It's cool to see. We always see the Vulture droids in space, so it's cool to see them kind of spidering and crabbing around on the ground. I think it's a really creative idea to have a ship that can then walk around on the ground. And as we see, it doesn't really work out for them. It's not the most effective, but you know, it is what it is. They do what they do. But we see twice in this fight, or no, 3 times, we see another droid punch. So I think maybe
Jacob loves the droid punches.
I love the droid punch. For droid punching clone forever in our hearts. We see the droid punching clone happen over, or the clone punching droid, I guess in this case. If we're thinking about it from a different perspective, we see 2 clones when Rex is captured. When Rex and his clones are captured, and then his comlink goes on, and then the clone comes up to it.
There's the battle droid, the clone that punches the super battle droid, and the battle droid just lifts him up.
The battle droid just lifts him up and then lets another battle droid shoot him.
This is not a kid's show.
They're not messing around. Yeah, wow. But also what I was thinking about is they punch to they literally make the battle droids' heads spin when they punch them to escape, which makes me wonder why didn't that work on Christophsis for the other poor poor clone forever in our hearts. Why did he not have?
Maybe
the
he
same,
just didn't have the
same
moves.
luxury.
Maybe he just
I guess
didn't
he
have
just
the
didn't
moves.
have the moves. Yeah. Guess he just didn't have the DC-15A, which is the gun that most of them were using, has a 500 shot capacity before you have to change it out. Now, granted, it probably overheats before that, but you have to be pretty desperate to start punching droids at that point. So,
though, how long
maybe,
at that point had the battle on Teth been going on?
Yeah, that's true. It is going on for a long time. And also maybe the Republic really is spread thin. Maybe they can only give each trooper one mag or something. Who knows? But another thing, this is the perfect example of I'm gonna fanboy here. This is a perfect example of the low altitude attack transport at its best. I think this battle shows why this was the Republic Army's greatest assets. They swoop in, they let all the troops off, and then instead of just flying away, they stick around and they lay waste to the troops. The enemy troops, that is, and the enemy infantry with the guns and the rockets and the missiles.
Jacob talking about vehicles, people. This is why we do In a Galaxy.
Oh my gosh, no. Please just let me live. So I did some research because I was really interested. Turns out canon doesn't have any info, but in Legends, it has two missile launchers, of course, the big silo cylinder, the big cylinder contraptions on the joint of each wing with the body. Those are apparently mass driver missile launchers. I don't know what that means, but that means it is similar in some capacity to the mass driver cannons on the ATTE. So I want to look into that because it seems like the ATTE, those shots arc, so they are projectiles clearly, but also they're not guided like the LAATI's missiles are. But the LAATI also has, what do we got here? 8 under-wing air-to-air missiles, which I didn't know about before. Maybe those are only in Legends. Of course, it has the 4 composite beam turrets, where maybe those were tiny little Death Star prototypes. Who knows? And 3-point defense turrets. So it was very, very heavily armed, which also makes me wonder why they couldn't shoot Dooku down. Remember in Attack of the Clones, you know the scene when the clone pilot says, "Sir,
we're out of rockets.
Ran out of rockets. What about the lasers? Don't tell me you ran out of lasers too, clone pilot. Come on."
Maybe the lasers wouldn't impact the tower the way the rockets would.
But they weren't they? That was when they were chasing Dooku on the speeder, though. I thought. Well, unless I'm misremembering the scene.
I don't know, honestly.
Okay, well, okay, never mind then. Okay, let's just move on.
Okay, so they're on Tatooine. Anakin and Ahsoka get to Tatooine. This is my favorite part. This is the part that I don't understand. The biggest part I don't understand about this entire movie. So Ventress is pulled up on the hologram with Dooku at Jabba's palace. And she just says the Jedi killed Rotta. And Dooku just repeats that. And everyone believes them!
I know,
They don't have evidence. They just take everything as face value.
I know, which for a Hutt, for someone in the business, like, surely
that
Jabba
doesn't make
of all
sense.
people, yeah, surely Jabba of all people knows, trusts no one.
Yeah,
not even
like
yourself,
seriously.
right?
And then even if that's true, let's examine Dooku's lot. Even if that wasn't true, let's examine Dooku's logic. So the Jedi killed Jabba's son, and then they're coming here to kill Jabba because exactly. Why?
I guess because they want control of the space.
I know, but let's examine the Jedi's philosophy for a second. They value life. They would not kill somebody if they felt they didn't need to. Why would they kill a random Hutt if they are so high and mighty with their value of life?
Eli, I have one word for you, and it's a term you coined, I believe. Prejudice.
Brilliant. This is the circle is now complete.
I'm thinking of Maul going, brilliant.
Yeah,
I mean, like, this is a good point. Like, of course, the Jedi don't like. I mean, at this point, the Jedi, like, if the Chancellor asked, they probably would carry out an assassination. I don't think that would be below them at this point.
Probably. There was a plot at the end of the Clone Wars to assassinate Dooku, but like.
Yeah. It's Dooku. That's extenuating circumstances.
So, yeah.
How many Jedi has Dooku killed?
How many Jedi has
that's actually
Dooku
not
killed?
Yeah. I'm guessing it's quite a few. But
I don't think we've
that's
ever
actually
seen
such
a Dooku
bad
kill a
look.
Jedi on
Imagine
screen.
Imagine what the galactic newspapers would say about that. That's such a terrible look for the Jedi. Religious cult.
They should get a
kills
PR firm.
member. Religious cult assassinates someone who left them. Like, oh, that's the Jedi just have a huge PR problem.
They really do.
Like they had their problems, but they had a PR
I will say
problem.
this. This is a very ingenious part of Dooku's plan. So he's constantly ordering everyone, all of his soldiers, to kill Rotta, right?
Yeah.
If Rotta dies, then he can totally just blame that on the Jedi killing him, and nobody will ever know the difference.
I think he knows that the Jabba has like already Jabba and the Hutts really don't like the Jedi, it seems, and they distrust the Jedi. So I think he's kind of taking advantage of the fact that Jabba, it's not that he knows, because it's not true, but he will be more inclined to believe something that kind of confirms what he's already thinking, or what he already feels, which is that, oh, these Jedi are bad news. We don't want them around.
It's the what's that called? Placebo Jedi mind trick.
The SIBO Jedi mind trick?
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with that.
You're more likely to believe something like that. A mind trick works better on somebody if they are already inclined to do the thing you tell them to do.
Oh, so that's why, like, if the stormtrooper,
these aren't the droids you're looking for.
Like, oh, it's
they don't
so
want to be
hot
looking
out
for
here.
droids at
Yeah,
this
they don't want to be looking for droids.
Heats.
They want to be grabbing a drink at the cantina and cooling off in the shade.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. You're right. That makes sense.
Anyway, so let's see. I do want to give some appreciation to this guy because he never gets enough credit. Mark Hamill has said it. Tons of people have said it. R2-D2 is the real hero of Star Wars, people.
He is so powerful in this.
He really is.
He helps take down a bunch of I'm blanking. He helps take down a bunch of Magna Guards. That is no mean feat for an astromech.
I was talking about the fact that he basically kind of just single-handedly fixed the ship that Anakin was crashing.
That's true. He just stuck his robot
arm.
He just stuck his robot tongue arm.
Don't do anything too naughty.
No, I'm not. Don't you worry.
I've seen it in memes. That's the only reason I'm saying that.
Yep, that wasn't what I was thinking of, but you're right. You're right now.
Okay, anyway, let's see. Oh yeah, so then, this is my favorite part. We get the unnecessary subplot that does not need to happen. And I think you know what I'm talking about. The Padmé subplot.
Oh, the one where Padmé gets
the one where Padmé
gets
just sticks her nose in business that probably isn't hers and gets worse for it. I don't understand why the subplot has to exist, but like, you know, that's cool.
Me neither. I feel like it could have happened just as well without it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't really take away.
Also, by the way, let's acknowledge this part of this. I love this. Jabba shuts off all communication with the Jedi. What?
That seems like a bad...
Like, with the Republic in general. If he wants to play both sides, he's not doing a very good job right now.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Rotta, after he takes the pill, he literally burps green mist on the ship. On the Twilight. What is wrong with
Why
us?
do baby Hutts have to exist?
I mean, I'll say it. I've said it and I'll say it again. Rotta walked so Baby Yoda could run.
He really did, yeah. I'm not naming the episode that again,
Rotta
but
paved
like
the way.
it served as a good title last time. Yeah, I can't do that. Also, did you notice that Ahsoka, when they touch down on Tatooine, Ahsoka calls it gritty, abrasive sand?
Yeah,
Anakin's
and then
already
she
rubbing
says,
off on.
why don't we talk about the sand at one point?
Yeah.
Like, do you want Anakin to drop you
Yeah.
as his Padawan?
There's so much stuff with sand. I don't know if
Because
you
that
noticed
is what
this
is
later
gonna
on,
happen.
but in Anakin and Dooku's duel, Dooku throws some sand at Anakin with the Force, and he immediately falls down. It's the best. I saw it, I'm like, nice job, Dooku. Very nice job. And even better job to Dave Filoni and Lucas there. Because literally, Anakin throws sand at Dooku, then Dooku just deflects it with his lightsaber. Dooku does the same thing, Anakin just falls down the hill. Which is just genius. And then we get another character that I can't stand. We're talking about Ziro. Ziro the Hutt. Jabba's Jabba's uncle, who for some reason has a southern accent. And speaks in basic, but has a southern accent. Why?
It makes sense that Ziro's more,
Why? Why did this have to happen? Like, why? I hate it so. I hate Ziro so much. I don't know about you. I can't stand Ziro. I hate him. He is so annoying. He serves no purpose other than to say I kidnapped the Jabba's son, which we didn't really even need. We can just say that the Separatists did it. Like, what the hell? That's just me, though. Am I overreacting about Ziro the Hutt?
I don't know. I think it's just a matter of opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't really mind it so much. It is what it is. It's an interesting take.
Yeah. I can't stand.
I don't understand though why Padmé would just walk right in there.
Yeah, that seems
like tell everyone she was a senator, and not expect to get like immediately kidnapped, given that she came alone or.
Yeah, it's not very well planned. I will say, here's the reference. Here's a couple things. First of all, his top droid lieutenant, Ziro's top droid lieutenant, is called Kronos 327. So there's another reference thrown in there. I love that.
What is the reference? I'm not actually sure I got the one.
327.
Oh, the Nubian yacht? Or
no, 327 is the Star Wars number.
Wait, why?
It appears in everything. 327 appears in everything.
Oh, okay. Cool. I didn't actually know that. Wow.
Yeah, 327 is the
every day.
Star Wars number. You see it like literally everywhere. But Kronos 327 has returned from the 12th moon of Yaut. Now, when I was talking about the movie Trivia Showdown afterwards, I like to give a shout out to Andrew DiMolanta. Andrew DiMolanta, this was his final 5-pointer question in the finals of the Star Wars tournament against Andres Cabrera, and this was a total left field question. Nobody knew this question. Not even most of the other Star Wars competitors knew this question. Where did Kronos 327 return from? Which was the 12th moon of Yaut. And he was literally, if he had gotten that question right, he would have beaten Andres Cabrera and moved to the finals against Alex Damon, which are going to be in December, but he didn't. So Andres is going to move against Alex in December. I just want to give that call up because I heard 12th moon of Yaut. I'm like, oh, and then I felt for Andrew DiMolanta. So, also, when Kronos 327 is dragged out to be scrapped for spare parts, the music stops and then it immediately comes back in. That is an underrated Star Wars trope. I love that Star Wars trope. So, like with when Obi-Wan,
the music stopping,
Obi-Wan cuts the arm off, and then everyone just gasps for a second, and then the music just comes back in. That's hilarious. It gets me every time. Also, by the way, did you notice she said, "I am Senator Amidala of the Galactic Congress." We're going to the whole House of Representatives thing.
Because I thought that the Galactic Senate, does that imply that there's another legislative body besides the Galactic Senate? I'm pretty confused.
The Congress of the Galactic Republic was also mentioned in either the clone of, I forgot, it was either Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones. I think it was Attack of the Clones, actually. But we had this discussion about the Galactic House of Representatives, and it's coming back up here. What's the answer? Anyway.
So what?
Sorry. So Padmé's captured.
Yeah, Padmé gets captured.
And,
kind of a
and
stupid way. It was kind of a facepalm way
that she got captured or that she got out?
That she got captured.
Yeah, she was not very smart about that. I will say I love Anthony Daniels as C-3PO. He always nails it. I felt like
That's true.
I felt like he was just as good as in all the other movies. Yeah. Let's see. Anything to talk about before we get to the fateful duel between Anakin and Dooku?
No, well, that's oh yeah, wait. One thing. The shot where Anakin and Ahsoka are on the ridge and they are walking and you see the two twin suns,
yeah.
It's hazy, and the sky is red. That shot,
that is
I think,
beautiful.
is
I wrote
incredible.
that down
It's
too.
so dramatic.
It's so good. I love that.
I feel like that shot is everything just takes a turning point after that. Everything gets so urgent.
Yeah.
Like
Immediately
immediately after that, I feel like that just makes up for all the dated. I'm not gonna say shoddy because it was the best that
dated
it was
animation.
the best they could muster at the time. But yeah, dated animation that makes up for all of it.
Yeah.
When they're talking about Dooku coming, when Ahsoka's saying no, let me go with you, and Anakin's saying no, you have to trust me, you have to go, you have to deliver him. I feel like this is when it kind of takes flight and it stops being a slog, because it's a slog for parts, but in my opinion,
Yeah.
But I feel like suddenly the urgency is there, and you feel like Dooku's actually deadly, like they're actually scared of this man.
It does feel like there's a clock ticking.
Yeah, it felt really good to get to that moment.
And let's see. Yeah, they duel, and I mentioned the whole blasting with sand thing, which I love that. And then Dooku this is the other stupid thing in this. I don't understand this. Dooku slashes Anakin's backpack. He thinks it has Rotta, it's just rocks. Why does Anakin put all his cards on the table? It's not much of a secret plan if your opponents know you have a secret plan. Why did he say Rotta is with my Padawan? Why did he say that? He could have totally just tricked Dooku into thinking he just killed Rotta and wouldn't send the Magna Guards. What the heck was the logic behind that?
But if that's also how I guess how did Dooku not sense that it was rocks? Is Dooku? I thought he was powerful. Anakin was he exerting a lot of
maybe it's just because it's the heat of the duel and he wasn't focusing on that. That's the best answer I can come up with, honestly. I don't know.
It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It does, I don't know. Maybe yeah. It's not a huge deal. It mystifies me for someone of Dooku's power and
intellect. Yeah.
Yeah, power and ability with the Force.
Yeah, I get that. We got the Coruscant Guard busting in to save Padmé. And we have Rotta being delivered back to his father by Ahsoka. And yeah. Anything to say about the end of the movie, in these final parts?
No, not really. I was surprised by my response to it after watching it. It was one of the first Star Wars things I watched. I don't know if I watched it for the first time before. I remember watching it at a sleepover with some friends, and I remember thinking, was this the first Star Wars thing I watched? I can't remember if I watched it before or after A New Hope. I think it might have been before even.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy. But I remember being really excited by it and just not being bothered by any of the criticisms that people were leveling at it, which I now totally see. So now I feel, I don't know, I feel like I have a more balanced perspective, but at the same time, I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. It has its merits. There are a lot of moments where I kind of remember, oh yeah, this is why it was so exciting for me to watch it for the first time. This is why I was like on the edge of my seat. This is why my knees were bouncing. This is why I was kind of blown out of the water by it when I first saw it.
I would say, this about this. Is this my least favorite Star Wars movie? Yes, it is. But can I still find things to love about this movie? Absolutely, by far. No joke. I love, this is the fun thing. I love the final shot. The final shot's ending with Binary Sunset. Binary Sunset, when it hits me, I start to cry. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought it was a pretty good.
It was a really good ending, and it also has the infamous also has the infamous silent final shot of Star Wars that's in every single movie.
Really?
Yeah.
No words. You mean?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what you constitute as the final scene. The Rise of Skywalker kind of does it. Like, you have to cut off the scene. Like, it's not a very long final scene if you do it with the Rise of Skywalker, but it does actually happen. Yeah. So, we're going to have the 6 degrees, unfortunately, also is going to be spoiler territory for The Mandalorian, because of stuff, but we're going to do our
1 quarter portion.
Okay, and this week it's 6 degrees. Want to go first? Want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay.
Let's have it.
Din Djarin and Mother Talzin.
Ooh, Din Djarin and Mother.
This is the way.
Okay. So Din Djarin.
Do the direct connection first.
What's the direct connection?
Boba.
I'm confused. Boba Fett. Oh yeah. Well, did they meet Boba Fett? They just were in a shot with Boba Fett, sort of.
Boba saw the Mandalorian.
Okay.
So
Boba Fett saw the Mandalorian. I'm sorry, who am I connecting to again?
Talzin.
Okay, and Boba Fett. Oh, I got it.
Oh, I
Boba
just
Fett
thought of it too.
Was the son of Jango Fett, who was beheaded by Mace Windu, who faced off against Mother Talzin in one of the last Clone Wars episodes.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
I
thought of an easier way.
Oh, really? What was it?
Boba met Asajj Ventress on Quartzsite.
Oh, wow. I did not know Boba Fett met Asajj Ventress.
When she was a bounty hunter. She worked with Boba in the...
Oh, yes, you're right. I do remember that. Gosh, I was thinking of Boba Fett in terms of his armor, and I wasn't even visualizing him. I wasn't even remembering to think of him in all stages of his life, thinking of him as back when he was that kind of insufferable teenage boy who somehow has like amazing powers.
Yeah.
And obviously he had combat training, but I think he was a bit of a Gary Stew in that, just a bit. I don't know.
Okay, go ahead with your first one for me. Let's see if I can do this.
Okay. Let's connect Yaddle and Baze Malbus.
Yaddle and Baze Malbus. Okay, Yaddle and Yoda and nope. That's not gonna work. Wait, is it gonna work? Let's see. Yaddle and Qui-Gon Jinn, Padme, Mon Mothma, Jinn Baze. There we go.
Nice.
I'm sure there are easier ways, but that's what I can think of.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking of too. So that
I could have done Yoda Padme too.
For some reason, I always think in terms of Mon Mothma because she's like a good bridge.
Yeah, she is a good bridge.
And the originals.
She's a good bridge between everything because she's in Rogue One too and Rebels.
Yeah.
Okay, my final one. This gets a little complicated. I'm sorry for you for this one. Cy Snoodles and Jarek Yeager.
Cy Snoodles and Jarek Yeager.
I tried to think unconventional for this one.
Okay, so Cy Snoodles knew Jabba.
Yeah, I think so.
Or am I Cy Snoodles? Yeah. Wait, was Cy Snoodles? Side note: who was the creature or the species similar to? I think it was the same species as Cy Snoodles who murdered Ziro the Hutt.
That was Cy Snoodles.
Was that Cy Snoodles? Whoa!
And they were in love, by the way.
Oh yeah, she is a master manipulator. No kidding. Okay. So Cy Snoodles knew Jabba Jabba was killed by Leia. Leia talked to Poe Dameron. Poe Dameron has met Yeager.
I'm pretty sure you got it in an easier way than I thought of before, so good job on that one. Okay, my final one, let's do this.
All right, we got, this is funny because it's actually kind of similar. Cara Dune.
Oh,
I thought of a new one for The Mandalorian. And Kazuda Xiono.
Oh, so we're doing Mando and Resistance. Okay, let's do this.
Mando and Resistance.
Cara Dune, Mando, Boba, Leia, Poe, Kaz.
Nice. That was. I think that was what I was thinking of. Also.
Leia is the enemy in 6 Degrees. And Palpatine, because the dead speak. Anyway, so let's talk about next week. Next week is starts the month of November. I mean, this is technically coming out in the month of November, but like next week starts our November recordings, and November is a good month, not just because it's my birthday, but that's also cool too. But November is a cool month because we are entering collaboration fever. I'm excited to be. I know Jacob, you are too. I don't want to speak to you for you too much, but like I'm so excited to be talking with a lot of awesome other Star Wars creators. We got some fun stuff. Next week we're going to be covering the episodes of the Clone Wars, Clone Cadets, Supply Lines, and Ambush with our very good friend Meg Dowell, who hopped on for an interview about a couple months ago, and we're going to be doing those 3 episodes with her. We just announced on Twitter that this will be, I think it'll be Sunday. So we're recording this on Saturday, so this will be tomorrow. But so tomorrow we're announcing, and we have announced by the time this episode comes out, that the week after that we're going to be doing the Malevolence arc with Jared the Dark Jedi from the Nerd Academy podcast.
Wow, I can't wait.
And we're both of us are so excited about having these great guests on to talk about Star Wars, the Clone Wars.
I can't believe I can't believe we're gonna be able to talk to other people on this podcast now.
Yeah,
that's gonna be amazing.
We have some other collaborations too that I'm very hyped about. So stay tuned on our Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. At In a Galaxy Pod is our Twitter. Let's see what else to plug. Email us. Our email. We'd love to hear from listeners. Our email is swinagalaxy@gmail.com. You can listen to us on Anchor, Apple, Spotify, Breaker, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, anywhere you find your podcasts. We will be there. Trying to think if there's anything else. If there is it not anything else you have to say, Jacob? Anything else?
No, I think that's gonna be it. More in some ways. I'd say more enjoyable than I expected, because I know it gets I don't want to say hate, but it gets it catches some flack, and I think rightfully so. But also I was kind of reminded of why when this blew away. I was reminded of why little 4th grader Jacob was completely blown out of the water by this thing.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. I thought it wasn't the best, but it was definitely a worthwhile watch, I would say.
Yeah, I'm excited. I liked watching the movie. I'm so excited to be getting more in the TV series, because that's where stuff shines, and we got some amazing episodes coming up. Ambush in particular. But if if there's nothing else, then I guess I'll just say, may the Force be with you always.